president's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, who you're currently suing, is now under criminal investigation by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. What do you think is going to happen with Cohen? Do you think he might even be indicted?
Jake, I do. I strongly believe that within the next 90 days, we're going to see an unsealing of an indictment against Mr. Cohen for a host of very serious offenses. And I believe, Jake, that is going to be a significant domino that's going to fall in connection with this.
Do you have any specific examples of things Mr. Cohen has done that you or the U.S. Attorney's Office believe to be criminal?
Well, I think there's a number of possibilities, Jake. I think he could be indicted for bank fraud, wire fraud, campaign finance violations. I think there's a whole host of potential criminal conduct that could be charged. According to his attorneys, the FBI seized thousands, if not millions, of pages of documents in connection with the raids going back some 30 years. This guy is radioactive right now, and this is not going to end well, Jake.
A source tells CNN that investigators have also seized recordings of conversations between Cohen and a lawyer who represented Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal before you began representing Ms. Daniels. I want you to take a listen to what Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, said about Cohen recording conversations.
Michael Cohen's an idiot. To be taping, if he did tape conversations with his client, that's stupid, but I don't know what kind of legal advice Michael Cohen gave Donald Trump. I'm not really impressed with him as a lawyer, just to be honest with you.
Lindsey Graham, not just an attorney, a former JAG with the military. Do you agree with his assessment of Mr. Cohen and the notion that it's idiotic for him to record conversations?
Well, Jake, it's exactly what I've been saying as well for the last 72 hours. As soon as this story broke, I have an enormous amount of respect for Lindsey Graham. He's a very, very intelligent man, very experienced attorney, and I couldn't agree with him more than to say that. I mean, it's outrageous. It's beyond stupid. And what's amazing is that this is the guy that the president put at his right hand. This is the man that the president basically trusted his secrets to. It is astounding.
Earlier today on the show, Senator Angus King, independent of Maine, who's on the Senate Intelligence Committee, said that Cohen seems to keep cropping up, whether it's with the Stormy Daniels hush money payment or with the Russia investigation. Do you know of anything that might link the two, or anything that Michael Cohen might have done involving Russia?
Well, I'm not at liberty to get into a lot of those details, Jake, but suffice it to say as follows. On Friday, while we were all in court, trying to deal with this TRO, and the judge was asking questions of his counsel, and the counsel unfortunately did not have answers to these simple questions. The judge wasn't happy about it. Michael Cohen was videotaped and photographed sitting with a number of men on the Upper East Side, I believe it was, and we believe that a number of those actually have ties, Russian ties, as crazy as that sounds. So this story just gets more strange and more strange by the day. You couldn't even make this up if you wanted to.
Can you shed any more light on what you just said? I mean, I saw a picture of one of the people he was sitting with, and he has ties to one particular Russian wealthy individual. What else are you talking about?
Well, again, I don't want to say too much this morning, but you can't make this stuff up. I mean, I don't understand what he's doing, what Michael Cohen's doing with each passing day. This is getting worse and worse for him, and it's going to get worse and worse for the president.
President Trump's lawyers and Cohen, as you noted, went to court on Friday to try to prevent any of the material seized by investigators from being read, claiming attorney-client privilege. The U.S. Attorney's Office responded by saying that Cohen has, quote, exceedingly few clients and a low volume of potentially privileged communications, unquote. You're a lawyer. Doesn't Michael Cohen have some sort of standing to make this claim of attorney-client privilege?
Well, he has standing to make the claim, but if it's shown that these communications were not in furtherance of providing true legal advice or true services as a lawyer, they're going to blow a hole through the privilege big enough to drive a Mack truck through, Jake. And the fact that he's been called to court at 2 o'clock on Monday is also a problem. As I stated on Friday, right after the judge made that order, we could see Michael Cohen plead the Fifth Amendment in open court on Friday, depending on what questions are posed to him. I'm going to be there at 2 o'clock. I can announce that we got comfortable with a security plan last night for my client. She's going to attend at 2 o'clock on Monday. I think Monday afternoon could prove to be very interesting.
Stormy Daniels is going to be in court on Monday with Michael Cohen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she will attend at 2 o'clock in New York on Monday.
Is that intended in any way to provoke him, to get into his head?
No, not at all. It's intended to send the message that this is a very, very serious matter for her, and she wants to make sure that the American people know that she's behind efforts to bring to light as much information and documents as possible. She also wants to ensure that that she is heard and that she's represented at the hearing. It has nothing to do with getting in his head at all.
All right, Michael Avenatti, the attorney for Stephanie Clifford.